This morning, we will discuss the subject of the concept of God and religion. If I were to ask you this question, would you like to be a religious person or a spiritual person? If you had a preference to make in your life, to aspire towards a particular goal, would you like to be a religious person, or would you like to be a spiritual person? And I'm sure every single human being, whether you're Hindu, you're Christian, or you're Muslim, every one of us would aspire to experience the Krishna, the Christ, and the Allah, the eternal spirit. Whatever mode of worship that we follow, that mode of worship is geared towards experiencing the same experience in which Christ and Krishna and Muhammad and Buddha and all these saints and sages and religious masters of the past, we too should aspire to have those experiences. And today we will discuss the need for religion, the relationship between religion and spirituality, the understanding of why there must be the following of prescribed codes of conduct, and what happens if we deviate from those instructions and guidelines. Many times in religion, we hear the word ritual. And every Sunday morning, or every time we go to the temple or the mandir or the masjid, you would find, or the mosques or the churches, you would find that people are engaged in performing rituals. And rituals are not just puja and ceremonies that we perform, at least in this mandir. But rituals are anything that we perform repetitively or repeatedly so that we can have a particular outcome. It is the acts that we grind over and over again so that we can establish some level of spiritual sharpness in our life that prepares us for something literal. The English dictionary defines ritual, whose root word, or which has a root in the word rite. And what is rite? A rite means when we perform a procedure or an action under some sort of religious instructions or guidelines. That is what a rite is. But we should ask other pertinent questions. Why should we perform rituals? Why is it important to perform rituals? And for those of you who are familiar with my method or my mode of lecturing, I would have in the past suggested that we should not get stuck in rituals. We should not get stuck in the rituals that we perform and think that we would have achieved the end point in our travels. But today, I would like to step back and emphasize the importance in rituals as a stepping stone towards a particular outcome. So we should ask the question, why should we perform rituals? We should ask questions like, where am I relative to where God is? But more importantly, how do I make the connection between where I am and who I am and our understanding of God? And we should try to understand and connect our rites and rituals that we perform as a process, as a mechanism by which we can achieve that connection between ourselves and God. For ultimately we will realize that we are God. And today, I would like to take you through the pages of Aranya called Tulsidas Ramayana, as we look at a very beautiful katha. On one stage, I would like for you to look at this. Ravana, the demon king Ravana, was devising a plan, a scheme. And that plan was to destroy the Lord Sri Ram. But part of that process of destroying the Lord Sri Ram, he was planning the abduction, the kidnapping of his wife Sita Ji. And like this, Ravana, in coming up with this grand master plan, he sought the assistance of an individual. Who was that individual? His name was Marich. And Marich was a great soul. Marich was a great soul. And when he heard the request of Ravan, where he wanted his assistants, Ravan wanted Marich's assistants to abduct Sita Ji, he realized that he was between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. For now he was thinking, if I don't follow the instruction of Ravan, Ravan will definitely kill me. Isn't that so? And he's thinking, if I do follow the instructions of Ravan, I will be dead anyways, because I will die at the hands of the Lord Sri Ram. If I assist in kidnapping Sita Ji, I will die at the hands of Sri Ram. And like this, in this conversation, in this dialogue between Ravan and Marich, Marich is now having been put in a position to make a decision. Should I assist Ravan or should I not and die at his hands? And like this, he accepted. He acceded to the request of Ravan and he allowed. He said, Ravan, I will follow your instructions. That was one platform. And on the other platform, in the other stage, in tandem, simultaneously, there was another Leela unfolding. For the Lord Sri Ram knew what was happening. He is all-knowing. And in preparation for this scheme of Ravan to unfold, he had, together with Sita Ji, they had created a fire. Agni Devta was formed. And Sita went into that fire. And out of that fire came Maya Sita. It was an illusionary Sita to allow Ravana's scheme to unfold. Lakshmana did not know what had happened. And like this, Rama, the Lord Sri Ram and Sita Ji were making preparations. Maya Sita came out of the fire and then she allowed and she unfolded the rest of what was about to happen. Let us join as we chant from Aranyakan, page 488, for those who like to reference. Go back to your Ramayana and follow these words. As Tulsidas tells us that Ravana had executed his plan. Marich came in the presence, in a part of the forest where Ram and Sita and Lakshman were. And he presented himself in a disguised form. What was that form? It was a very beautiful, golden studded deer, an animal that was so beautifully exquisite that Sita Ji fell in love with that deer. Like this, the Leela unfolds. These forests are very evil people. There are lots of demons and negative people. People who would like to perform ill will towards you. You know, in these times, we live, some of us, we live in a big prison. 25, 30 years ago, you could have left your homes open. You could have allowed your children freely to walk in the village and play with their neighbors' children. There was true community back then. But look at what is happening now in society. We have burglar proof, and we have burglar gates, and we have security systems, and we have alarm systems, and now we have to engage community watch. Why? Because there are evil elements roaming and roving our society. And like this, the Lord Sri Ram understood that he was leaving Sita Ji behind. Remember, Sita represents you and I. And he's leaving behind Sita Ji, but he's leaving two things behind. One, he's leaving Lakshmana. And Lakshmana represents every instruction in this next chopai. In the next chopai, Tulsidas document, Sita keri karhu rakvari. Says Lakshmana, I would like for you to protect Sita Ji. I am leaving, but I am leaving you, Lakshmana. You represent Dharma. You are Dharma, Lakshmana. And I want you to protect Sita. How do I want you to protect her? I want you to use 4 specific ingredients, 4 specific guidelines in protecting Sita Ji. And what were these? 1. He says, I want you to use buddhi. I want you to use thought. I want you to use vivek. Vivek means judgment. I want you to use bal. Bal means strength. And I want you to also be cognizant of samaya vichari. Be aware of the time and the space in which you are living in.